All right. Hello, 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 and welcome everyone. Let's see if we can get camera to focus on in. Focus on in. There we go. Hello and welcome to this morning's pre-market prep session. Just got my little salt water gargle in right before we got on, nursing the throat back to health. This is our session for May 23rd, 2023. We got 5:23:23 on the clock. Maybe that'll bring I don't know, some angel numbers, right? Some numerology luck to us today. But luck is just when preparation meets opportunity, right? So what's fortunate is that we can create our own luck just by means of being here, right? Preparation, opportunity. This is part of the preparation. Once you have the preparation down, when the opportunity comes along, as long as you can identify it, you have a system to take advantage of it. That is how you create your own luck, right? So we're really here to manufacture our own luck, right? And I'm proud to do that with you guys here each and every morning. So welcome, Vivian, Benjamin, Tristan. Good morning, Andrea, Coco. Good morning. Hope everybody had a nice, restful night's sleep. Let's see here. I didn't get in my normal morning routine this morning, which kind of sucks. I've been like trying to more so rest than exercise a whole bunch to give my body like the ability to like heal up. I know that people say that you should like sweat it out and sweat a cold out, but I guess technically after researching, there was no like scientific basis for that. So I've just been, kind of taking it easy in the mornings, doing my mental health portion of my morning routine, but I'm really hoping that I'll get kind of back into the swing of things tomorrow, depending on, if this medicine starts to kick in and work a little bit better. So looking forward to getting back to that because, that's a huge part of your day. Setting the tone for the day is getting your exercise in, right? Getting your morning routine in, making sure that when when you're there and you're sitting down, you're ready for war, you're ready for battle with that opening bell, that you already have the blood pumping, that you already have the adrenaline going, that you already are locked in, right? That you're zoned in. All that is super, super important so that you're able to not be flat footed when it's time to execute. So I'll be happy to get back into that. Hopefully that's coming tomorrow. But I like to share that with you guys because I encourage you to do the same thing, right? Try and share what you want to do with people that can hold you accountable, right? Tell them, hey, I did this morning. I didn't do that this morning. I have a text group with my brother and one of my good childhood friends where I wake up every morning. Hey guys, did this part of my morning routine already, looking to do this one, right? I have XYZ left to do. Did this yesterday. This was great. Struggled with this yesterday, right? Looking to do this today. If you don't have one of those, it's very nice to have one. So just make sure that, whether it's here or anywhere else, right? I don't care what you guys type in the chat. You can say, hey, Adam, I slept in. I'm not going to lie, but I'm still looking to kill today. Awesome. Congratulations, right? But I want to create and make sure that we maintain a forum where anybody can kind of voice, okay, this is how my morning went, or this is how this is going on. And then we can all support each other together. All that is just as important as being like, hey guys, I see a breakout happening on Apple right now. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to take advantage or strike while the iron is hot if your mental isn't right. Right. So that's it for our little morning rant today. But as always, before we dive into our news, notes, and analysis that will be imperative to success today in markets, I want to make sure that we all do exactly what I see you guys doing, right? Putting a 1 in the chat, signifying your intention to get 1% better by the end of this session. That's so key because you have to set your intention for the day as soon as you get up, right? That's why you meditate. That's why you journal. That's why you do all of that, so that you set that intention both consciously and subconsciously that you are ready to win, you are ready to execute. So, with all that being done, without further ado, we can dive into some of what we have going on today. The first headline being debt dynamics. So while most investors are expecting an 11th hour deal to be reached over the debt ceiling, interesting market dynamics are at play as the drama unfolds in Washington. Some AAA corporate bonds from Microsoft and Johnson & Johnson are trading at a yield discount to Treasury bills, which are generally viewed as the most safe investment in the world. In fact, Wall Street just witnessed the busiest week of the year for investment-grade corporate bond issuance, helped by a $31 billion debt sale by Pfizer that became the fourth largest on record. Now, where things stand, following a talk on Monday evening, President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy agreed that both sides will keep negotiating on a debt limit plan to avoid default, though they didn't reach any agreement. Quote, I believe we can still get there, McCarthy declared, though he's not considering the president's suggestion to cut the deficit by increasing taxes for the wealthy or closing tax loopholes for the pharma and oil industries. Instead, he's focused on reducing spending in the fiscal year 2024 federal budget following a reported agreement to cut unspent pandemic funding. The chance of a default occurring is, quote, very, very small, but not zero, explains John Mason in a new Seeking Alpha article that examines the probabilities. So, Seeking Alpha analyst David Lerner adds that the scare could be the last best chance to get into this rally, while investing group leader Mott Capital Management writes that a deal may lead to a giant stock market liquidity drain. Now, what would happen if the U.S. defaults? Moody's Analytics forecasts spiking interest rates and plunging equity prices, as well as the freezing up of short-term funding. So pretty much widespread mayhem and planet-wide panic, right? This has never happened previously. So again, we don't expect that to happen now, just based off of history. Volatility might also send shockwaves throughout the financial system, spreading to the derivative and mortgage markets, where treasuries are often used as collateral for securing trades and loans. The focus would then turn to the Federal Reserve and its backstop menu of options to avert a calamity. But Chair Jay Powell has reportedly warned that, quote, no one should assume that the Fed can protect the economy. It's true. This is pretty much just another development in this ongoing debt ceiling crisis. It has to be resolved soon. So it's really just, okay, what does the aftermath end up being of that resolution, right? So the chance of this occurring very, very small. I'm just looking to see if there's anything more to harp on in this, or if this is just kind of something where it's like, all right, we're continuously monitoring this, and we'll see. I'm sure whenever an agreement gets reached, it will top every headline on every news station. But for right now, right, it's really just keeping a thumb on the pulse of what we got going on. So let's see what we have up next. So Outlook AI headaches. This was something that maybe I'll make a reel on. I don't know. I thought about it yesterday, but I ended up just having too much going on. Had one-on-ones, had discovery calls, and I was just like, I don't want to push it too close. But AI headaches, with algorithms scraping sites and social media for headlines to react to, the rise of AI photos has given investors another headache. On Monday morning, the account Bloomberg Feed, at Bloomberg Feed, not associated with Bloomberg, but with a blue check mark, shared a fake image of an explosion at the Pentagon, which quickly went viral. So I talked about this yesterday, right? Yesterday, there was the first position entered, right? It was some SPY calls. So I was looking good, bullish, coming back to an area where we could enter calls. And, entered small, high risk intraday SPY calls, and SPY tanked out of nowhere, right? And it was because of this fake image that was leaked of an explosion by the Pentagon. So again, what do you consider this? A black swan event, right? We absolutely cannot control that. It is what it is. That's why you manage risk. Put 100% of your portfolio into any trade, right? It just comes along with it. It comes along with the world that we're involved in. Is it fair? No. Do I sit and cry over it? No, right? Because we had a number of other plays that ended up coming through yesterday, right? Nvidia comes through, Tesla comes through. So 2 for 3, one of them wrecked by AI. It is what it is. It's part of the game. But I think that this is a pretty important and momentous moment, because this is like one of the first times we've had AI directly affect movement in market, and it wasn't based on like actual news or actual facts, right? We've had Google running and Microsoft running because of AI news, but it's because of developments in AI products, not because AI was used to trick people, right? And this is the first real instance that we have that happening in it affecting markets immediately. So pretty crazy. Definitely significant of the new times that we are living in. The first time I've ever seen anything like that. There are 7 in the chat if this is the first time you've experienced anything like that, because I definitely haven't. If you have, then maybe you were trading a day that I did not. But this was completely unprecedented, right? Had not heard of anything like this. But it's just tough, because right now, I don't know if any of you guys watch Succession, but I love this show Succession, but I feel like it underscores, if you're watching it, they're in the midst of like an election, and it kind of serves to prove the fact that no one really cares whether or not the news is real. It's just who breaks it first, right? That's pretty much just where we're at. And, they always say it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. And news outlets definitely do that now. So it's just tough, because when anyone can pay for verification, and you can have all these different news outlets that aren't actually affiliated with the real ones, but they have a name that's similar. It's like, what is real and what is not, right? And we're seeing that directly affect markets, today, which is just crazy. Today, meaning this day and time, but specifically yesterday. So a pretty crazy episode all in all. Let's see here. So, quote, for all of a few minutes after the U.S. Open, the S&P 500 shed around 0.25%, whilst yields on the 10-year treasuries moved about 4 basis points lower before recovering, Deutsche Bank's Jim Reed wrote. Given the suggestions that the initial photo might have been AI generated, it just shows the potential pitfalls for markets if fake news driven by AI can cause concrete movements in asset prices. So, just another thing that now we have to keep on the lookout. And that just again further underscores risk management, which is super, super important. In terms of economy news, water use under pressure of more severe cuts by the federal government, Arizona, California, and Nevada have reached a deal to cut water usage from the drought stricken Colorado River. In return, the Biden administration will compensate cities, irrigation districts, agricultural landowners, and farm operators with funding to the tune of $1.2 billion that will come from the Inflation Reduction Act. While the agreement will trim water usage by 13% across the Southwest, or 3 million acre feet of water by 2026. Bigger solutions will be needed in the future, especially if dry conditions intensify. Seeking Alpha analyst Vlad Deshkovich discusses what the Colorado River water shortages will mean for investors in the long term, while Alliance Bernstein explains that water scarcity is no longer just a problem for developing countries and desert clients. So I just like being in Maryland because you don't have to deal with any of that, right? As simple as that. I got a lot of friends move out to the West Coast, move here, move there. I've got water. I don't have to worry about, water usage. I don't have to worry about somebody cutting off my shower, right? As long as the bills are paid, whatever I want flows. So that's, one of the big thumbs up for boring old Maryland, right? Is that whenever I need something, it's there and I don't really have restrictions on it. Now, in terms of tech news, is it constitutional? Lawsuits were expected and lawsuits have arrived. TikTok is suing Montana over its decision to ban the popular short form video app across the state starting in January 2024. The suit alleges that the ban violates the First Amendment and rules governing interstate commerce, as well as laws like federal preemption. Quote, we are challenging Montana's unconstitutional TikTok ban to protect our business and the hundreds of thousands of TikTok users in Montana. TikTok, owned by China-based ByteDance, said in a statement. In other legal tech news, Meta Platforms was slammed with a $1.3 billion fine by the EU, making the biggest penalty ever levied by Ireland's Data Protection Commission. In terms of today's markets right now, let's see if this is anywhere near where they were earlier. Yeah, it looks like actually a little bit lower. So overall, things are lower than when this newsletter first came out. We saw nothing but a whole lot of chop, right? An inside day, a range bound day. If you saw the Instagram reel from last week, right? We don't break certain bounds. We end up chopping for the whole day. This is exactly what we got yesterday. If you haven't watched that reel, go back and watch that reel, right? Make sure that you're understanding what is in each and every one of these pieces of information that's being dropped, because that came into, big consideration yesterday, because that's exactly what we got. We got a day that was completely within the range of the previous day. So in terms of kind of today's markets, we're mostly red in Asia. Japan down 0.4%, Hong Kong down 1.3%, China down 1.5%, India flat. The footy in London up 0.3%, Paris down 0.8%, Frankfurt down 0.1%, the Dow down 0.1%. It's down more now. S&P was down 0.1%, it's down more now. Same thing with the Nasdaq. Crude oil up 0.2%, gold down 1%, Bitcoin up 1.7% to back above, or 1.8% to back above 27K. We have PMI composite flash at 9:45. In terms of today's economic calendar, new home sales at 10. Doesn't look like a whole lot that will be affecting us in terms of like moving markets, other than maybe like a quick 1 minute, flash in one direction. So what else is happening? We've got, let's see here, our rapid fire bullet point rundown to close us off. WSB survey results. Economic data cannot be completely trusted. So we talked about that yesterday, right? With that jobless data being fraudulent, a lot of people are having less faith in the data that we do get. St. Louis Fed's Bullard sees 2 more rate increases this year. So Bullard spoke yesterday, and he said that he sees 2 more rate increases happening this year. So, there's a wide held consensus at this point that in the next meeting we're going to pause rate hikes. But he's saying that they won't be the end of the rate hikes, right? We might still see more. Chevron, ticker CVX, to buy PDC Energy, ticker PDCE, in $6.3 billion all-stock deal. So PDCE likely up this morning as a result of that. Chevron likely down as a result of that, just because whenever you see a company acquiring another company, the company that's getting bought, right? That company stock goes up because they're getting bought. But the company that's doing the purchasing, typically their stock goes down, because if you purchase another company, that means you had to engage in a bidding war in order to get there, right? Which means you had to sweeten the deal, and likely give up more than what you would have wanted to give up in order to make that deal work, right? So that's kind of where we're at there. But PDCE looking kind of interesting, right, on this chart. Nice breakout above. Let me see what this area is. Remove that level, the like 69.90 area. So we broke out, gapped up above that yesterday. And if it can hold that area by the end of the week, right, looking good for PDCE to continue to push on higher time frames, right? So we can push up to test roughly that 78.51 to 80 level from the 70 level that we're at now, if it can kind of stay above where we are in terms of 69.90. So we'll see. It might sell right back beneath that by the end of the week, but as of right now, PDCE popping up. It gapped up yesterday on the news, so the news must have broken yesterday, and it's just included in the newsletter today. So losses prompt ZIM Integrated Shipping, whose ticker is ZIM, to scrap its dividend. Can India become a new China for Apple? An article by Bernstein. And then Walgreens, ticker WBA, falls to slowest level. Maybe they meant lowest level in almost 11 years. JP Morgan cites reason that helped First Republic acquisition. And then Yelp, ticker YELP, gains on report of activist investor push for sale. PacWest, ticker PACW, offloads real estate loans to Kennedy Wilson. So PacWest offloading some of their bad debt to someone else, finding buyers for the debt they own. And then Steve Kress, seeking alpha head of Quant, discusses the fall of office REITs. So that'll wrap us up here for the pre-market prep session of May 23rd, 2023. Drop an 8 in the chat if you got even one valuable morsel of information from this session. And if you did, I don't ask anything in return, right? Other than just engaging with the content. Make sure you're watching it, soaking it in, right? If you see it, you learn something, it reaffirms something, it adds to the foundation of your trading education. Drop some emojis, drop a comment, share it, throw it in your story, right? Friends don't let friends stay broke. Let's continue to expand this community that is focused on maintaining financial vitality, right? And doing that together. In terms of the outlook for the rest of the week, right? It's a holiday week, shortened holiday week. A lot of the big institutional traders, right, a lot of those big guys over on Wall Street, they're already out in the Hamptons hanging out with their family, which means that you expect low volume days, chop days without a lot of conviction, right? And that's what we got yesterday. No conviction, low volume on the daily, which means, there aren't a lot of people being involved, so we can have these, moves up and down. And overall, right, that's what you expect out of holiday week. So play light, take your profit, right? See profit, take profit. Make sure that you're actively managing your positions. And otherwise, you can just wait and come back, right, next week whenever we have a full week and everybody's back into it. But overall, right, we're really just looking to make sure that we manage ourselves and stay continuously profitable, avoid losses, right, and just do what's best for you. So I appreciate all you guys popping in. Alicia, what are you doing here? You're in Vegas. You're out kicking your feet up, right? You're downstairs at the actual casino, kicking. I appreciate you being here. It was just funny. I didn't expect to see your name. I thought you were on vacation, fully giving it up. But thank you for popping in, right? Always great to have you. But great to have everybody else, right? Everybody who tuned in, Michelle, Benjamin, Sharon, right? Vivian, Detrice, all you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll continue, drinking my tea, healing up. Thank you for all the remedies. Everybody's sending me like good things, like nice, holistic, organic medicines and stuff to take, which I love. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. Everybody have a great rest of your day. See you back here tomorrow morning for our next pre-market prep session. Have a good one.